So I want to share a couple of things with you guys today, and I'm really excited to do that. And I was trying to put this together last night, actually, because I do everything at the last minute. And I was trying to think, what is it that I did to get me to where I am today? And, you know, I was sitting there thinking, and I'm like, it's kind of funny because what I did as Megan, as a brand new coach, is the same exact thing I'm still doing today, Megan, number 3 in the network. I'm just doing a whole lot more of it, and I've been so consistent in it that, you know, I've just gotten to the point where it's like second nature to me. So, do you guys want to hear some secrets? Voice spill the beans? Okay. So, let's see. Megan, as a new coach, I moved to, I'm a military spouse, and we moved to Washington in 2013, and that's when I signed up as a coach. I won't go into the whole story, but I was sitting there thinking like, okay, at that time I had 2 kids, you know, I'm starting this business, I don't know anybody in Washington, I hardly have any friends on Facebook. I was just that person that like posted a picture of my baby every now and then, you know. So I had to make social media work for me. So what I did is I started a Facebook like page, and you guys are probably familiar. Some people call it a fan page. But I started posting on this like page just a variety of things. You know, at first I thought I had to be like this fitness superstar and post all about like my insanity workouts, and that was good. You know, I needed people to know that I was all about health and fitness, and this is the lifestyle I wanted to promote. But anytime I would post about a lot of Beachbody things like Shakeology and you know, any program, a specific program, I wouldn't get a whole lot of interaction from it. And I was like, what the heck is wrong with these people? These are like the best products ever, but they don't know that yet. And we have to keep in mind, you know, people are not on social media to buy things, right? They're on social media to build relationships. So I just kind of dabbled in this like page because this business is all about just kind of figuring out what works. And I noticed that every time I would post something like, I don't know, my kids spit up on my shirt, or like the most random, like everyday nitty-gritty mom stuff, it got a lot of interaction. There were people liking and commenting and sharing and tagging their friends, and I'm like, okay, I get it. Like, people are not here to buy products. So I had to figure out a way to make that work for my business. So one day I pick up this book, because I was good coach doing my personal development, and it was called Jab, 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 Right Hook by Gary Vaynerchuk. And I think, is anyone going to Summit? Yeah. He's going to be there, right? Yeah. He's really awesome. I listen to a lot of his stuff too. He kind of has a potty mouth, which makes it like fun to listen to. I don't know if that's immature of me to just like somebody because they have a potty mouth, but it's very entertaining. So I picked up this book, and it just kind of gave me some structure. It was a way to, you know, it was a social media strategy, and it kind of validated everything that, you know, the posts that I was posting, what was working and what wasn't. So basically, jab, 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 right hook is a boxing analogy. And I'm actually not really that familiar with boxing, but apparently, in boxing, if you are, you know, you're jabbing your opponent to get them to where you want them to be before you throw the right hook and you knock them out. And we're not going to knock out our customers, but this is, you know, the analogy he was using for this social media strategy. So basically what jabs are, and y'all have to excuse my notes, like, I meant to make like slides for you guys, and then they just ended up being my jumbled notes from my head, and I went to art school, so this is what you get. So basically, good jabs encourage interaction on your page. I was making posts that encourage this interaction, because we all know how Facebook works, right? The more popular you can get a post, the more people are going to see that in the newsfeed. So you want to think of things that are going to get your audience talking. I really make it a point to not overthink my content. And actually, I feel like that's a big reason why I did this business really well from the get-go. I didn't ever overthink anything. I hardly ever put any thought into anything at all. So it kind of worked in my favor. So stop overthinking it. Start posting your life. You are very unique. There is something about every single one of us, you know, whether it's being a mom, or I see coaches post about, one elite coach that posts about peanut butter all the time, and like her community knows her for peanut butter, and it's so weird and different, but you know, when people see peanut butter, that's what they think of. They think of her, you know? So, you know, whether it's being a mom, whether it's, has anyone really like tapped into their market? Does anyone post about anything pretty, what is it? Can you just shout it out? PCOS, that is an awesome one. Yeah, being really vulnerable. Anything that, I just put a couple examples up here. Anything that encourages interaction. Over here I posted a Toss It Tuesday. I was talking about what's going on in my challenge groups. And there I've kind of planted the seed, like, oh, I run challenge groups. And today on Tuesday we're going to toss out something in our cabinet, or if you're like me, it's in your liquor cabinet. I'm a mom. So, I mean, just be honest. So I was tossing out this bottle of wine, and this encouraged a lot of interaction on my page. You know, there were moms chiming in saying, like, don't do it, like, are you crazy? You need that. But no, I was gonna give up wine that week. And you know, I got a lot of people talking on that post, and I've also kind of planted that seed, like I'm running challenge groups. So the next jab is just a workout video I posted, but you can't really see the text. It's a vulnerable moment for me. Like I'm talking about it's hard, I'm tired, my kids are driving me crazy, but I'm gonna do this anyway, you know? So part of it is motivation and inspiration. It's something that people can relate to. You wanna really, really think about that when you're posting your jabs. And then something of value, because you know, people can like and comment, but they can also share things to their Facebook page. So, you know, I'll throw in a recipe every now and then, or, you know, a little fitness tip. The Beachbody blog, do you guys ever get on that? So, like, great content that we can use and just make it our own. Like, I'm not a cook, I just found that I don't know if I found that on the blog, but I use the blog a lot for jabbing. So, I want to also, with my jabs, I want my Facebook page to be a community. I want my audience to, you know, it makes me feel so good when I have a customer or a potential customer come to me and say, Megan, I feel like I know you already. That is my goal. That is my goal with my Facebook page. It's not to be a fitness superstar. It's, you know, I want to be a product of the product. There's that common ground there, but I want my audience to know who I am, because I've built that rapport, and it makes the invite much easier when your audience trusts you. So, so I'm jabbing, and I'm jabbing, and I'm jabbing. Can you go to the next slide for me? And this is what we call a right hook, which is actually the invite. So I'll do like a series of jabs, and I really only throw out an invite like once or twice a month, because I never really need to do more than that, because I have, you know, thrown my jabs, people are interacting on my page, my posts are popping up in news feeds, and so when I throw out a right hook, this gets fed to a lot of news feeds, because I've already done the work of having everybody interact with my posts. And this is just a few like guidelines I go by when I make a Facebook invite. I make sure I use an image of myself You know, it's not my dog, it's not my kid. I mean, sometimes I have my kids in there, but I feel like it's important for people to know who they're talking to. And I use very little text on the image. One reason being is because you can't boost a post if your image has a lot of text on it, so I try to limit that. And another reason is I always tell my team, you wanna pretend like social media is a highway. You know, people are scrolling that newsfeed. Usually they're on their mobile phones, they're using their thumbs and scrolling really fast. What is gonna grab their attention if you're driving down a highway and you see a billboard? Are you gonna stop? If you're like me, you're going like 80 miles per hour, and I don't stop and read a billboard, you know? So you have to think about that, like what's gonna grab somebody's attention? You know, don't use a lot of text, something easy to read. And when I do my post, the actual post part of it, I share a personal story. And I go off of these 3 categories. I don't know if you can read my terrible notes, but physical, financial, or emotional is a good you know, way to base any kind of story it is. You know, here, this is a sneak peek invite, and I probably shared a financial story. If you don't have a financial story yet, because I know a lot of us are just starting out, I tell my team, an emotional story works for a sneak peek or an opportunity invite as well. I know a big part of me becoming a coach was to get support from other moms and things like that, so that's just a little thing to keep in mind. But back to the invite. This story up here, this is Back to Fitness. It was a challenge group invite, and I was being really vulnerable. I was talking about, oh my gosh, you know, back to school, the kids are driving me crazy, I don't have time to really prepare my meals, my fitness has got off track, who's with me, you know? So just an idea of sharing a little personal touch to your invite. Don't start with facts, don't put your price tags in your posts, really pretend you're in a conversation, and let them know what it's about without that price tag. You know, is it a program-specific challenge group? Do you want to find 10 to 15 people to lose, that want to lose 10 to 20 pounds in 21 days? Let them know what it's about without price tags. And then, you know, show your personality, be motivating, uplifting, radiate your energy, and there should always be a call to action. You know, ask them to like, comment, email. They have to somehow get in touch with you. And up here I put a Google Docs form because I just wanted to, yeah, you can go to the next slide. If you guys haven't tried this yet, it's a really neat tool. It's on Google Docs. I know I'm giving you like tons of information, but you wanted the secrets. So this is a Google form where I have put the link to it in my right hook, in my invite. The people click on this, they fill it out, and it pulls up a spreadsheet in my Google Docs of all of their information. So, you know, I have their name, I have their email address, I have and I asked what their goals were. So, you know, the work's been done for me. All I have to do is reach out and say, hey, I saw you're wanting to lose weight, you know, 15 pounds, get into shape so you can chase your kids, blah, blah, blah. I think the 21-day fix would be an excellent program for you. Have you heard of it? So this is just a little tip. I could spend all day on this, but just to kind of plant that seed for you guys if you want to check it out. Okay, where am I? Okay, so now that was probably good information for, you know, new coaches getting started. But some of you guys have been coaches for a while, and you're probably thinking like, okay, well, I do that. You know, I jab and jab and jab and right hook, and for some reason, it's not working for me. Like, it's, you know, my network is not expanding, nobody is seeing my posts, I don't understand. So my tip is, invite all the people. And what I mean by this is, let me back up for a minute. If there's anything you can take away from this today, this is it. If you are not personally reaching out to new people every single day in personal conversations, your social media is not going to work. It's not. You're jabbing and jabbing and jabbing and hooking. I mean, it might work for a while, for a little bit, but the way people see your stuff is if you are striking new conversations with them, because Facebook says, oh, Megan knows this person, they just had a conversation, I'm gonna boost all her stuff to the news feed, right? And so I was sharing things from my like page to my personal page. I was having conversations with 3 to 5 new people every single day. They were seeing my jabs, and they were seeing my right hooks. So, the seeds were planted. I was becoming relevant in their lives by starting those conversations. So it's really important to, don't wait for people to fall in your lap. There's a lot of people out there that need help, and we are the missing link to get them there. It's easier said than done, so what I'm gonna do, you can go to the next slide. I'm gonna share a couple of conversation starters that I use to invite, and I'll just explain this, because again, my notes are plenty. So you have to shoot a friend request to message somebody on Facebook. That's just the way that it is. If you're uncomfortable with that, you can put them on a restricted list. And my number one inviting conversation starter is thanking them for liking my page or my post. Obviously if they've liked my page or my post, they have some interest in health and fitness, right? Because that's the common ground there. Like, I'm posting a lot of jabs about being a mom and all kinds of stuff, but they know, since they like my page, I'm about health and fitness. So I asked them, thank you for liking my page. We must share an interest in health and fitness. Do you mind me asking, are you working on any goals right now? That's such an I don't have to beat around the bush. I don't have to talk about the weather to get to the challenge group invite. It's just an easy in. Are you working on any goals right now? You don't have to overthink it. Very simple conversation starter. Another little tip or trick I use, and I wanted to use the word snoop because I feel like stalk is so creepy sounding. So I'm going to use snoop. I kind of snoop, if I shoot someone a friend request, I'll snoop around their profile. And, I work with a lot of moms. I've tapped into that market, and, if they have pictures of their kids, or, maybe they went to Disney World, I'll just shoot them a message and say, hey, I hope this doesn't sound weird, but I just saw you went to Disney World with your kids. I've been thinking about taking mine. Would you, share a couple tips, travel tips with me or whatever, and just get the conversation started from there. Snooping and interacting with their posts, you can make yourself relevant in their lives by commenting on their stuff, which is, I guess, a little less awkward. And the last one is ask for referrals. This is something I did a lot when I was a new coach because I was so scared to personally invite people. So I would message them, talk about them, build that relationship, and at the end of our conversation, I would always say, hey, it's been so great to catch up, or hey, it's been so great to meet you. Before I, log off, I was wondering, I'm starting this challenge group. It's, it consists of X, Y, and Z, whatever your challenge group is. Would you happen to know anybody that needs that in their life right now? Because it gets them thinking yeah, me, or, maybe they do have someone very close to them that needs help. So, those are, 4, I guess, conversation starters that I use when I personally invite people. The next 2 notes are just, if you don't get to the actual invite of your conversation, it's okay. Because what are we doing? We're jabbing, and we're jabbing, and we're jabbing. And we're also talking to a lot of people, 3 to 5 new people every single day. So all these people that I'm talking to, they're gonna snoop over on my pages, they're gonna see my stuff in their newsfeed because I'm relevant in their life, and Facebook knows that. So that's just something to keep in mind. Stay consistent with your posting on social media, stay consistent with your conversations, and the work will be much easier. So I know that was a lot of information, and if it's okay, can I just do like a quick Q&A maybe? 1 or 2 questions. Because Craig like talked his head off. Yeah.
What do you use to track? How do you track?
How do I track my
Your 3 to 5 new friends and all your interactions? How do you track?
Okay, so there is the business activity tracker in the online office. I kind of took that and made something different out of it for my team. I don't use it so much anymore, but we call it the Win the Day tracker, and it's basically the same thing in Google Docs. I've created a spreadsheet, and it has, a place to list all of the people you're talking to. The next page is just the what am I trying to say? Like progress of getting that person to the invite or where they are. Maybe they're in a challenge group. But for me, I use Google Docs for everything. It's easy to log on to Gmail and hop into a spreadsheet. And especially if you're doing a form from your invite, it puts it all in there for you. So I just kind of highlight who did actually sign up and join the challenge group and who hasn't yet. And the people that haven't, I put them on a new spreadsheet for months to follow up, for the next month to follow up. Yes?
As far as, and this might be like not an easy question to answer one thing, but as far as helping your team grow, what would you say, if there's such a thing as one thing, like what would you say is the biggest tip you have for that as far as helping your team grow?
Helping my team grow. So I'm glad you asked that because I struggled with that a lot my first year. Megan could run her business, but I threw up 5 stars so fast and then it all crumbled back down and I had to rebuild it again. So I was like, okay, well, I need to actually help my coaches grow business too. And what I found that has helped a lot is if you guys haven't done new coach get started right calls with your new coaches, it's vital, such a big step. And I just didn't do it because I didn't want to do it. I just gave them a document and I said, here's your checklist, check it off. But no, they need that personal touch. They need a step-by-step, set their expectations for them. What is Success Club? Why do you want to achieve it? What are their goals? Why you should go Emerald quickly? And so I started to do those, and I also started to open those up for my downline so that my coaches could learn how to get their new coaches started. That was a huge thing for us, was getting everyone started, because it's it's overwhelming at first. I almost quit in my first 2 weeks. I was like, I don't want to read. This is too much. But yeah, just having that personal touch.
One more?
Yeah. You. Yeah, you. You.
So, in social media, you have your regular page, I guess, right? I'm using social media. And then you have a like page. You mentioned that you share from your like page to your regular page. I have friends on my regular page, but how do you have that balance? What you post over here, what you post over there? You always share it on, you always post the same thing.
Yeah, so I was talking to Danielle Natoni about this. She disagrees with me, which is fine because everyone's going to run their businesses differently. And I think the way she's done it has been, she's amazing. But so in the beginning, I did share from my like page to my personal page so that those people in my warm market could see what I was doing over there. And I was, sharing normal everyday things like what I did with the kids that day, or, I don't know, maybe I went to the post office or the zoo or I took a selfie, I don't know. So as I was doing that, my network was expanding, and then eventually I just transferred over to my like page. Yeah, I don't have a reason really to be on my personal page anymore. But that's how I got it started, was sharing to and from. And I was talking to Danielle, and she just went cold turkey, like straight to her like page. And I think you just kind of have to test the waters and see what works for you. But that's what this is all about, is just tweaking and going back and figuring something else out and doing it again. So, go ahead.
Do you have a kind of general rule of how many times a day you'll post before you're like over-posting?
Yeah, I post 2 to 3 times a day. And I make one of those about being a product of the product. Always. It's always a common ground of health and fitness. And the rest is whatever I want. Is that it? Okay. Thank you guys so much.